Hey everybody. Okay, so I know it's been a while since I've recorded a video. Not that many people are watching just yet, but that's okay. So I've got a couple of videos I'm going to try and do pretty briefly. So thank you ahead of time for watching, and I hope these help. I hope these are informative, but if they're not, let me know. Let me know what you would like to hear, any questions you have. So what I'm going to talk about today is actually kind of closer to me, kind of a little bit about my philosophy and what I bring to kind of just teaching in everyday life. So I just got approved to build 2 new classes for next school year. One of them is Latin American history. I think that's just going to be fun. I think that's going to be very useful. But what I want to talk about today is the class that I got authorized to build, which is anthropology. Kind of an introduction to what anthropology is. And one of my students asked, well, why? What is that? So I thought, yeah, let's do a quick video over it. Well, what is anthropology? There are plenty of good videos out there, quite a few. But basically, it's a study of humans. It's just a study of people. You've got your 4 subgroups: biological, which is a study of how we are physically. There's and just how we've come to be. There's the study of cultural anthropology, which kind of is at the core of much of what anthropology is. It studies cultures, past, present, just kind of all aspects about them, about culture. Uh, then there's archaeology, which I'm sure many people have seen an Indiana Jones film. Great films, love them. Kind of stretching a little bit. So, anywho, they're great. They're great. I'm not trying to knock them, but archaeology is basically the study of kind of the past. It's focusing on the past, but it takes multiple aspects. It's not just digging up bones and artifacts. There is a lot more to it. All the 4 subgroups of anthropology have various fields within them. And I just don't have time to go into all of them, but one of the cool things about archaeology is there's a great subgroup of experimental archaeology. And that's where you're trying to recreate what was done in the past. That's how we know how certain things have been built, like Stonehenge. Yeah, we actually kind of know how they were built. There's been experimentations done on how it's created, how flint knapping works, how they created various arrowheads, and so on. So it's really cool. Reconstructing what's already been done, figuring out how it was done, kind of relearning what was lost. And then there's linguistic anthropology, which is the study of languages and how those languages impact culture and worldviews, and how cultures and worldviews impact the language, which is quite fascinating, and that's kind of what I got heavily into when I got my bachelor's in anthropology, and because I fell in love with it and how language works. And it's not just the spoken language. You study facial expressions, body language. There's a lot of nuances to it. So, and just an interesting subgroup to that is ethnomusicology, which is the study of music and the messages therein. So, anywho, so that's just as quick as I can make it. I hope this doesn't go too long, but why? So back to that question of why study anthropology, or at least why bring it into a high school. Well, like I said, it's a study of people. So in my studies of anthropology, I've learned to kind of look at other worldviews, and it kind of goes back to stuff that I've already talked about, how and why other people see and do what they do. Because often we get into this trap of seeing something, oh, that's dumb. Is it? Maybe to them it's not. Maybe to them that's what they know, that's what they do, that's what makes sense. There's a lot of things that we can just assume don't make any sense, but maybe they do. Maybe they do to that person. They may never make sense to us, Like something may never make sense to me, but it makes sense to that person. It doesn't make it wrong. So it's not wrong. It's just different. And that's okay. So I think studying anthropology and bringing an introductory class into a high school, I think can kind of help students sort of get an idea of different perspectives and also help them understand themselves a lot better too. In fact, there's some projects that I'm including for cultural anthropology which actually don't focus on studying another culture. It's helping students study themselves and understand themselves. Because if you better understand yourself, then you can better understand where somebody else is coming from as well. And that's actually kind of part of when my degree in anthropology, we studied ourselves a lot. And actually, I hope some of you teachers who may choose to watch this too, in getting your teaching certificate, or at least getting mine, we kind of did some projects to understand ourselves better so we can understand them. That is an element of anthropology. So basically, my response to why anthropology is why not? Anthropology is everywhere, even in business, even in the corporate world. There is a culture there. So subcultures are still cultures. So there is a culture there of a certain way of doing things and a certain way of seeing things. And there's also a lot of abilities you get in studying anthropology where you're analyzing things, you're breaking things down. Well, you can use that in anything you do in life. I mean, as a teacher, we do that constantly. We're constantly analyzing, collecting data, breaking things down. And as students, hopefully you are too, because you're learning. You're learning stuff and hopefully figuring out how to apply what you're learning in life. Whether it be far down the road and you may not realize that you're learning something valuable right now, and you may not realize 4 years to come. Trust that happens to all of us. Or you may use it that same day. You may use what you learn that same day. It could happen. So that's my response, is why not anthropology? Because anthropology is humanity. It's one of the best ways to understand who we are, why we do what we do, who somebody else is, why they do what they do. And then that helps us better understand how the world works, how it used to work, and maybe how it can work in the future. Hopefully better. Hopefully it keeps improving. So, anyway, that's just a little rant that I felt like I felt like going on about anthropology, and I may do future videos on this because, as you might be able to tell, it's kind of a passion of mine, is understanding. I've used my degree in anthropology for so much. I use it every day in the classroom. I use it every day in life to just try to understand things, understand myself better, understand others better. And yeah, it may take some time. Mistakes do happen. But never stop learning. Never stop trying to understand yourself and somebody else, each other. Thanks, guys. Take care.